What if I told you some trucks weren't just vehicles? They were survivors. Machines built with so much grit and mechanical integrity, they didn't retire at 200,000 miles. They simply kept going. These aren't trucks that dazzled with features or design. They earned their place in history by showing up to work day after day, decade after decade, without a complaint. 500,000 miles? That wasn't a record. It was just the beginning. These engines were forged in a different time, when durability mattered more than digital dashboards, when toughness wasn't a selling point, it was a standard. No sensors to fail, no computers to glitch, just raw, overbuilt steel refusing to quit. They didn't follow trends, they followed purpose. In this video, we're not just counting down trucks, we're honoring engines that refuse to die, the kind that made mechanics shake their heads in disbelief, and owners swear they'd never switch brands again. These machines didn't just power jobs, they built businesses, pulled families through storms, and outlived the very roads they traveled. What you're about to see isn't a nostalgia trip. It's a reality check about what real reliability used to look like and why it still matters. These trucks weren't designed to turn heads in parking lots. They were built to outlast storms, carry the heaviest loads, and come back the next day ready to do it all again. While modern pickups chase sleek design and luxury interiors, these machines focused on one thing: longevity. Not through luck, but through engineering that prioritized strength over style. Cast iron blocks that didn't warp under heat, deep skirt block designs that absorbed stress without cracking, cooling systems so effective they rarely saw the red zone, even under punishing conditions. These engines didn't beg for attention. They didn't need maintenance reminders flashing on a screen. They thrived in silence, mud, snow, and remote job sites where failure wasn't an option. Simplicity wasn't a compromise. It was protection. No fragile electronics, no unnecessary complexity, just mechanical honesty that worked. And that's what made them eternal. They weren't built for resale value or fuel economy awards. They were built for people who needed their trucks to show up daily. Before we get into the countdown, remember this: every engine you're about to hear about wasn't made to impress. It was made to survive, and survive they did.
At number 10, Ford F-Series 300 CI 4.9-liter inline 6. This engine wasn't flashy, but it didn't need to be. Known for its cast iron durability and 7-main-bearing crankshaft, it earned its reputation not on paper, but on the job site. Farmers, contractors, and fleet operators trusted it for decades because it simply refused to quit. Even after years of hauling, towing, and plowing, this engine kept firing up. No questions asked. Ask any old-school mechanic, they'll tell you the 300 i6 is nearly impossible to kill. Number 9, Chevrolet CK Series 5.7-liter L31 small block V8. This engine didn't just run, it powered through abuse. With a 4-bolt main block, hydraulic roller camshaft, and forged internals, it took punishment like a champion. It didn't care if you skipped an oil change or pushed it up steep grades with a full trailer. The high-volume oil pump and aggressive cooling system meant it didn't overheat or complain. It just did the work, again and again. Number 8, Dodge D-Series Early Ram 225 Slant 6. With its unique 30-degree tilt, this engine looked odd, but it was a genius in disguise. The design improved lubrication, meaning it ran smoother even when neglected. Owners joked that the only way to kill it was to drain the oil and shoot it, and even then, it might try to start the next day. Over 400,000 miles with minimal care wasn't uncommon. At number 7, Ford Superduty 7.3-liter Power Stroke Diesel. Built like a tank with a cast iron block, cross-bolted main caps and direct injection, this engine handled brutal cold, extreme loads, and long-haul abuse like it was born for it. With proper care, it wasn't just likely but expected to pass the million-mile mark. If you see one still pulling freight today, it's no surprise that 7.3 is still doing what it was built to do. Keep moving forward. At number 6, Dodge Ram, 5.9-liter Cummins 12-valve diesel. This engine is what happens when engineers strip away complexity and leave only pure mechanical brilliance. No electronic sensors to fail, no fragile components to babysit, just a gear-driven camshaft, a straight 6 layout for balanced power delivery, and a 6-bolt per cylinder head that could handle jaw-dropping pressure. Built from 1989 to 1998, the 5.9 wasn't just reliable, it was legendary. Million-mile builds are common. 2 million isn't shocking. It didn't just outlast competitors, it embarrassed them. Number 5. Jeep Cherokee XJ, AMC 4.0-liter inline 6. This engine wasn't created to win races. It was made to crawl over rocks, blast through snow, and still get its driver home on time. With a cast-iron block and simple, robust internals, it survived years of off-road abuse and daily commutes without blinking. Minimal electronics, low-stress operation, and a design focused on longevity made it one of the most quietly powerful engines in automotive history. It didn't ask for attention, it just delivered. At number 4, Nissan Frontier/Xterra VQ40DE 4.0-liter V6. Often overlooked in favor of bigger brands, this engine proved that endurance doesn't always roar, it sometimes hums. With a forged steel crankshaft and an aluminum block tough enough to handle rough terrain, this V6 was made to take a beating. The use of a timing chain instead of a belt removed one of the most common failure points. Owners didn't need to baby it, they just needed to drive it. And many did, well past the 300,000-mile mark, with little more than routine care. These engines weren't born to impress, they were born to endure. No excuses, no drama, just performance that modern trucks can't always match. In their silence, they built legacies louder than any marketing campaign ever could. At number 3, Toyota Tundra 2UZ FE 4.7-liter V8. This wasn't just an engine, it was Toyota's quiet masterpiece. Designed with thick cylinder walls, a deep skirt block, and an over-engineered oiling system, the 2UZ FE delivered smooth performance under crushing loads. It didn't need to roar to prove its strength. It did its job with relentless calm. Whether towing boats, hauling construction gear, or climbing steep grades, this V8 delivered mile after mile. Owners didn't just report 300,000 or 400,000 miles, they casually mentioned 500,000. Some are still on the road today, and they're far from done. Number 2, Toyota Pickup, 1981 to 1995. 22R 2.4-liter inline 4. This engine became mythic. Built from 1981 to 1995, it earned its reputation by surviving the unthinkable: deserts, snow, overloads, neglect. It didn't care about abuse. It welcomed it. With a cast-iron block, a rock-solid timing chain, and internals that felt more tank than truck, the 22R was Toyota's mechanical signature. There are documented cases of these engines reaching 900,000 miles and beyond, untouched by major rebuilds. For many, the 22R wasn't just reliable, it was immortal. At number 1, Chevrolet Silverado, 5.3-liter LM7 Vortec V8. This engine became the heartbeat of Chevy's early 2000s trucks. With a cast-iron block, aluminum heads, and one of the most precise fuel systems of its time, it balanced raw strength with surprising refinement. The LM7 wasn't just about power, it was about trust.
It ran cold, it ran hot, it ran hard, and it didn't complain. Mechanics loved it for its simplicity. Owners loved it for its refusal to quit. Crossing 350,000 miles was normal. Starting every morning without hesitation, expected. These top three engines didn't just outlast competitors, they redefined what reliability meant, then raised the bar higher. There's a reason people get emotional about these engines. It's not just horsepower or towing capacity, it's the history they carry. These machines didn't just perform. They showed up during snowstorms, during job losses, during family emergencies. They didn't just haul loads, they helped build lives. There are stories of engines that raised children, pulled trailers across states, and outlasted marriages. And through it all, they kept starting every single time. That kind of dependability builds trust, and trust builds loyalty. You don't forget a machine that stood by you when everything else was uncertain. In a world where so much is designed to fail, where updates expire and components wear out on schedule, these engines feel like rebellion. They weren't meant to be replaced, they were meant to endure. This is more than nostalgia. It's a reminder of a time when durability wasn't optional, when manufacturers built with pride, not planned obsolescence, when simplicity wasn't outdated. It was powerful. People don't love these engines because they're perfect. They love them because they never gave up. And that kind of loyalty, you can't fake it. You earn it, mile after mile. If you've ever owned a truck that just wouldn't quit, you know exactly what this list is about. Maybe it was a farm truck that started every winter without fail. Maybe it was a beat-up workhorse that never once left you stranded. These engines weren't just tools, they were partners in your life story. And now, we want to hear yours. Drop a comment with the truck that earned your respect. We read every single one, and your story might just make it into the next video. And while our top 10 were chosen carefully, there are others that deserve respect. The Ford 460 V8, the Chevy 6.0 Vortec, the Ram 6.7 Cummins. They didn't crack the final list, but they've carved out their own legacy of reliability. These machines proved something rare, that trust can be built from steel, grit, and time. Let's celebrate that together. If this list reminded you of what real reliability looks like, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes in trucks that never quit. We're just getting started. Because next time, we're diving even deeper into pickups so overbuilt, so mechanically extreme. They weren't just made to last decades, they might outlive us all. These are the machines that went beyond durability. They entered legend. And if you've stuck with us this far, you're exactly the kind of viewer who won't want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned. The road ahead is just as tough as the trucks.